We out here, chilling in the spot. What up?
How y'all doing? We out here, chilling in the spot. What up?
What up?
Hey, everybody out there. It's the Negro Rocker Podcast coming at you.
Right is right, wrong is wrong, though. You know what I'm saying?
And I noticed it at first, but I was like, okay, maybe that's just no big deal, whatever.
And I get that part too, but hey, we still calling it that part. Take ownership of that shit. Go get help and seek help for that shit, and kind of correct your.
They're politicking, rapping, shooting the breeze, trying to holler at a dame. Hope get something together for the weekend, whatever.
How y'all doing? We out here, chilling in the spot. What up?
It would be the volume of the conversations, though. It would be,
but I'm
boisterous. You know what I'm saying? We get up in there and we start doing us.
Just loud. Niggas just loud.
Oh man, them niggas, man. I hated Bugs Bunny. I stopped watching that shit, boy.
They stopped
Bugs Bunny?
Bugs Bunny.
I used to watch the shit out of Bugs Bunny, Tom and Jerry, and all that.
Bugs Bunny was my favorite shit. I just know now after the fact that shit was all the way fucked up.
Right. Have you ever noticed that in Tom and Jerry, man, the lady is a white lady now? The older lady.
They did it like in the 90s.
Yeah. But back in the day when I was watching them, man, it was an old slave lady. Big old slave lady.
Aunt Jemima, yeah.
Aunt Jemima, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Man. Yep.
All that shit was a reflection of their time period. They were racist, sexist, all kind of other shit.
Everything, man. I remember.
Yeah. But there was entertainment value there. I ain't gonna lie about it.
It was. I mean, I laughed at that shit too.
Yeah, we all laughed at it.
Yeah, but that was my time. I mean, we saw that.
Especially those early Looney Tunes. Like there's that little.
Hell yeah.
Those 30s Looney Tunes. Those were like psychotic, dude. I think they was on a lot of dope and stuff when they was doing that heroin and shit, cocaine, because that shit be like off the chain. Them old Daffy Duck cartoons.
Right.
This was like crazy, man.
Man, come on, dog.
And Porky Pig used to go at it and all that. Shoot each other and trying to cut each other open on surgery tables, trying to slice parts off each other.
Exactly, man.
It was off the chain, man.
Shit we used to watch when we were little. God damn.
Yeah.
Shit. None of these kids know that shit. I'm like, well. Well, I mean, but it was kind of crazy, man. Because I saw the same cartoons, but it was edited, and it fucked me up. I'm like, that's not how it happened when I was little. I'm like, where's that old black lady? Because I know she was
talking about Tom and Jerry, nigga.
Ass ankles. Oh, Tom and Jerry. I know she was a black lady. Jasper.
Yeah.
You know what?
It was Tom.
This is all.
His name was Jasper in the cartoon. So I'm like, what the fuck? Who the hell is Jasper?
I apologize. Shit. This is all my fault. I've done everything to take this podcast off the rails for today. I'm gonna bring it back. All right. Let me. All right. I'm gonna ask a random member, Lady Lavender. She is not.
Is she still awake?
She's awake. She always awake. She don't sleep, nigga. Don't sleep. She don't be sleeping. So, Lady Lavender, you there?
Yep.
So let's say Lady Lavender is a sister of the women or sisters of the South or the Confederacy. So let's say you were a sister of the Confederacy. Daughter of the Confederacy. That's what they call them. Daughter of the Confederacy.
Yeah.
And you want to have a pro-Confederate get together with you and all your daughters of the Confederacy sisters. Which state do you choose to go to?
Georgia.
Georgia.
Or Mississippi.
Mississippi.
Just keep going. Alabama,
down there to Stone Mountain,
Louisiana. just keep moving down the line.
Would you come to Kansas?
Maybe
that whole row of states down there at the Gulf.
Would you?
All those work.
Talk about the Gulf states.
So would you come to Kansas?
Texas.
Would you come to Kansas?
Kansas might be a good one too. As a northern state, why not have a pro-Confederacy rally there?
Okay. So I'm tracking your logic. So maybe you we want to expand it. People who don't understand heritage, not hate. So you come to Kansas, which is like a decent sized state. It's not small. It's a decent. I mean, it's long.
It's a decent state.
A lot of open land.
About a 6-hour drive east to west.
It's decent. It's decent. So out of all the places in Kansas you could have your pro-Confederate, daughter of the Confederacy rally at, where do you choose to have it at?
If it's pro-Confederacy in the state of Kansas, which was not a Confederate state.
No, ma'am.
But I'm trying to convince people in the Free State to be on my side.
Yes, ma'am.
And I must take advantage of a park that was anti what I am for, I feel like.
Okay.
Because you want to bring them to your side, you got to lure them in.
Good luck.
So,
little bait and switch.
It's the bait and switch. Pull them in. So it's got to be a park that fits that criteria.
So what are you thinking?
What am I thinking?
Yeah.
What park?
Someone who represented abolition.
Ooh.
Right?
Okay. I think
it's got to be anti what I believe. Which,
I think we
even
have
though
a person here.
The Civil War was not about slavery, because it was about protecting the Confederacy.
It's just about state rights. It wasn't about slavery.
States' rights.
Get out of here.
We do want to have it in a park that was representing or is named after somebody who's anti-slavery.
A man whose mural is down at the state capitol, perhaps.
Even better.
John Brown?
Sounds good to me.
John Brown State Park?
Let's do it. He was an abolitionist. We're pro-slavery.
Let's raise our Confederate flag at John Brown State Park.
Oh, shit.
What in the John Brown is going on around here?
I'll be John Brown. What's that? Remember Living Color? Well, I'll be John Brown. You had that German Shepherd. Well, I'll be John Brown.
Brown bullshit.
Ain't this some John Brown shit?
So, for our listeners who are not in the Midwest and not privy, and may just not care about the history of this nation, Kansas, which was a free state. Matter of fact, there's a high school called Lawrence Free State in this state.
The college, which we shall not name, their mascot is a Jayhawk. To represent the Free State movement. So.
Yeah, I get shout out to them. That's the only thing I recognize from them motherfuckers, but that's neither here nor there.
James unfazed over there. He ain't.
James, hey, Joe. James leaned back and smiled, nigga, when he said that. He was like, that's my state, nigga. Y'all fuck with that slave state. Y'all niggas are slaves. But anyway.
Right?
I'm just waiting for football season.
Wait for basketball, my nigga. Right. Anyway, ain't y'all got, you know what? We'll say that for later on.
Another podcast.
There's another podcast because y'all got an old Tyreek Hill nigga on y'all team. But anyway, yeah. So if you just like once again not checking in with the world, like, and I get it. The world is a place, and social media is a place that will drive you crazy if you do not have it sanitized and fucking with people who have your mental health as far as utmost. But anyway, yeah. So in the state of Kansas, which is a free state, in John Brown, who was an abolitionist, who was greatly opposed to slavery.
Let's not just say he was an abolitionist.
Violently opposed.
No, you're right. My bad, pimp. Violently opposed.
Gathered slaves to have revolted Harper's Ferry.
I wanted y'all to chime in. Y'all got quiet on me. I'm glad y'all chiming in. Go ahead.
Yeah, this wasn't just the run of the mill abolitionist. This nigga got bodies.
Him and his friends got bodies. Like, we bought that life.
Yeah.
He basically just like, if y'all don't free these paid people, on guard.
On God. He was the original gang. He was the original gang, nigga.
Gang.
Right.
He was the original white man that was tired of other white people's shit.
Right. Yep. When I come back on Saturday, if these people ain't free, smoke.
Smoke for everybody, nigga. Free smoke for everybody. And I ain't talking about Colorado, nigga. Free smoke for all you and your friends, nigga. So once again, if you're listening, if you're here, you're listening. Links in the chat in the show notes. But please look up on the history of John Brown. I know a lot of everybody here for the most part. I'll give Sir Anthony some leeway, being from the South, but here John Brown was like a known folksperson, especially among the black folks here in the Midwest. So,
it was just in the Midwest though. I mean, he came here for Bleeding Kansas and all that type of thing, but
right. Yeah.
He had movements over on the East Coast. I believe Harper's Ferry was that West Virginia.
Yeah,
West Virginia on the East Coast.
Yeah, so
I'm just saying, if you're from further down south, you might not have validity for that.
I know.
Well, which one? It was Virginia. West Virginia wasn't state yet, but
yeah. Virginia. I'm saying if you're from further down south, you may not know.
I'm not,
Plus, people from down south.
I know that. Yeah, I know John Brown.
Yeah.
Wow, dog.
I heard that.
What?
Yeah, I heard it. I heard it loud and clear.
That nigga said it into the mic.
He said niggas ain't free.
I mean, it wasn't like he wasn't.
I was trying to whisper that shit. My fault.
Yeah.
No, nigga, you ain't trying to whisper shit.
We already told us how your history teacher didn't teach you right, man. We just
that was history teacher here in the Midwest, bro.
I knew about John Brown, so
I don't know.
Right,
but I can't remember if it was high school or my dad.
John Brown, I'm a little bit up on John Brown, and now he was an abolitionist.
Yes, but like he was about that life, as we would say in this day and age.
Right.
He wasn't about hiding slaves. He was about hiding slaves. Yeah, he wasn't about hiding slaves. He was about hiding bodies of niggas that had slaves.
Mm-hmm.
Not your garden variety abolitionist.
No, not your garden variety. He was definitely more Malcolm than MLK.
Okay.
So you have these Confederates. So you got in a brief history on who John Brown was. Kansas was a free state, not a part of the Confederacy. All that shit like that. So you have this day and age people who are pro-Confederate who want to have a.
Well, let's be real clear that the Civil War really started in Kansas.
True.
I mean, if you take it back to Bleeding Kansas, it was Missourians who went over to Lawrence to burn to the ground.
Yep.
To maintain, a slave state next door. So I mean,
no, sir.
So we're talking about.
You keep saying slave state. You mean state rights, sir? Don't you mean state rights? I'm joking.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I'm joking. Yeah, my bad. Oh, the state's right to have slavery.
I'm joking.
The state's right to have slaves.
Yeah, we go. So, no one says the other half of the sentence.
Right. So there's blood in the ground in Kansas. At Harper's Ferry, there's blood in the ground with John Brown, his own blood. He died there.
Yep.
Right. And so they picked the perfect part.
They picked the perfect part, and so but you have people. So they picked the perfect part to strike up this shit here, right? Where it's like you have pro-Confederates in a free state at a state park named by not just an abolitionist, the abolitionist.
Right.
Like, he'd be like, fuck the Underground Railroad. While we underground, we should be above the ground fucking people up.
Right. Mm-hmm.
For the most part. Who gave his life to a cause which he believed in also, right? So, all this here and there, it's like, and I posed the question on Facebook, is this trolling or ignorance?
It's triggerance.
Triggerance. I like it. That might be the name of the podcast. Triggerance. I don't know. I know we shouldn't announce the name of the podcast on the podcast, but goddamn, triggerance, nigga. That might be it.
Hey, you stole my damn.
I don't know. The Diddler still is pretty good.
You should have said it first.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't like naming the podcast on the podcast.
Damn you, James! You're getting stronger.
I must.
I made the list.
That nigga gonna plant. He gonna plant some questionable. He gonna plant some questionable pornography on your fucking browser, nigga. You might be careful, nigga.
Oh shit.
So James says triggerance. What about everybody else?
I agree with James, man. That is triggerance, man. I mean, that is, and I don't know. But yeah, I agree with James on this one.
But I'm really of the point where I want to go out and ask people, even in the state of Kansas, and also we're just barely across the state line here in Missouri. People who do you know who John Brown is?
But see, what I think is, if you did that across the state of Kansas, you were gonna get pushback because A, you're black. B, half of these yahoos don't even give a fuck about abolition.
But I wouldn't even say he's an abolitionist. I would simply ask, who is John Brown? Do you know who John Brown is?
They don't give a fuck about who John Brown is.
But you're missing the point.
Whatever.
You're missing the point as far as like.
I don't even know if it's relevant, if they even know who he is or where the thing is happening.
Exactly.
What's bigger is that the ideology that they have, that they support, that they still try to perpetuate, is something that even in a state that historically was seen as a free state, it is mostly a rural place right now, which in a lot of those rural places, people have the same ideas and same thoughts and same ideology as pro-Confederate groups have.
But I will push back.
Lavender has stolen my idea.
But I will push back and say that is relevant. That is relevant.
She done made the list.
Huh?
Yes, you did.
Everybody gonna be on the
list.
I would say that I will push back and say that it is relevant to understand that you are standing in a state that is, and I get that a lot of people, because I see Confederate flags in the state of Kansas, and I'm like, on the back of trucks, and I'm like, do you understand you are standing in a free state that fought against the Confederacy? And a lot of people don't realize that, and I think that is relevant as far as like how we go back to what we were talking about earlier on the podcast, how history is taught and or erased. And I think it's very irrelevant. I think it is.
It's relevant to a sense, but you also have to think about how throughout the country, the all 50 states and territories and everywhere you go that's associated with the United States, and now even in places that are in other countries, there's the ideas of anti-anything equality, anti-anything brown or not white.
Right.
So regardless of where you are, that's going to happen. I mean, that's going to happen in places in Canada. It's happening, and they were a place where everybody went to, all the enslaved people here went to go be there, and now there's like huge things like that happening in Canada. So it's not, I mean, I understand what you're saying, that it is relevant, that you should know that you're in a free state, but that was...
But I push back on you to understand that like, Canada...
It was so long ago, but it was long ago enough to where everybody... It's just like that whole migration thing, that people have migrated, and now they're everywhere. And now anywhere where there's not a big city, even in big cities, there are people who have these ideas and who believe, especially since 2016, that they are right and have the right to rally and be anti-anything.
Right, but I will push that back on that though too. As far as even Canada, though, there is a blindness to that where people think that Canada was this bastion of just freedom, where they also were clubbing their own, people who were like our Native Americans upside the head also. So I think, but also the bigger point as far as history comes back. What are you saying, Joe?
So I was digging around. We went back to the link that we had in the group for the Heritage Not Hate group, and so what I did is I followed it and found the host of the event, which happened today, is this dude named Keith E. Oakley. And so on his profile picture is him and I guess his little boo thing. She looked like a little Latina. I don't know.
No, it was a guy.
I support Confederate heritage. And it says, his title, he's got like a little subtitle there. It says Captain Oakley.
Captain Oakley?
CSA 2 Kansas State Commander.
Hold on. Hey, dog, nigga, send me that, dog, because I know Oakley. That was in the military.
Go through the just through the link on the page.
Well, I don't want to slow down the motherfucking.
I do it. So and then on there it talks about he's got like little posts he's got up from 2 hours ago. It says forget cats and dogs, spay and neuter liberals. So partnership for a liver-free America. He's got these little things he wants to give to liberals at the cookout. He got little hot pockets with Tide pockets inside of them. And but more specifically, there was, I guess, I think the event was supposed to go off at 11:30. There was supposed to be a group gathering at 10 o'clock at the same park, and it says "Not my park, bro." So it has the famous picture of the mural of John Brown, and so there's full knowledge. So when we talking about whether this is if this is trolling or if it's ignorance, it's definitely trolling, man, because he has full knowledge that you know what I'm saying, that he's at the park of John Brown. It's not a question.
I feel you.
So there's some sort of.
I'm trying to. I used to know a Lieutenant Oakley. It can't be coincidence.
Yeah, well, it says of the CSA. So I don't know the Confederate States of America.
Yeah, but okay. I feel you. But no, but like as I was saying, I get that people are ignorant of facts and all these things, but I think I'm just trying to push the fact that education, correct and full historical education is key as far as like it won't prevent things from happening, but it will definitely make people go, why are they doing this?
Right.
So
yeah.
I mean, and people who are racist, they don't give a fuck. So whatever. What'd you say, Joe?
I was trying to figure out how to send the profile, but yeah, if you go into the invitation, you can get the link to it.
I might do it, if it is a motherfucker I know, I'll be like, you sandbagging son of a bitch. I ain't like you then, and I definitely don't like your ass now.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of that's crazy, and I get it. People want to get the notoriety. People want to get put up here, and it's like Confederate versus. But then you kind of can see when you talk to your friends as far as like, do they know this was a free state? Do they know who John Brown was? Things like that. And does it really matter to this day and age? I don't know. All right.
Yeah, they know. That shit was deliberate.
Oh, I think he knows. But I'm saying there are a lot of people out there who don't.
Everybody, yeah. Was that lost for a lot of people? Yeah.
Yeah, it had to have been deliberate. Yeah.
No, I think on his part it was deliberate. But I think there are people who show up and don't realize the significance of it.
Right.
Which is dangerous.
Yeah, it's very damning. A lot of ignorant people running around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right.
Willfully ignorant.
Yeah.
Yeah. We covered that. Hey, Donald Trump's still a rapist. Anybody want to cover that? Talk about that?
He's the first one. He's number one. He's a willfully ignorant son of a bitch.
He better watch out for Anthony.
That nigga
That's all I know.
But the thing is, do you think that Donald Trump knows who R. Kelly is?
Maybe. I think he seems like he's ready to get his ass kicked.
I don't know, because when you pay that R. Kelly as you come through the window, he's not going to know what's going on. He's going to know a nigga outside his window playing loud music.
R. Kelly in the window? Man, I hear it.
Actually, though, so that means he might be your supreme arch nemesis, because if you use R. Kelly to lure these niggas in, he ain't going to know what the fuck is going on. He's going to keep going about his business. He gonna just hear jungle. He gonna hear what white people call jungle music and keep going by his business.
He gonna be out here. It's the Riddler and the Pied Piper. Damn you, Pied Piper.
Yeah.
She was ready.
I'm still like, dog, we have a president that has numerous rape allegations being pressed against. I mean, whether they are founded or unfounded, we have a president. But this is the norm.
Okay. Can I say something real quick? First of all, if you're a person that have rape allegations against you, not just one or two, and those can be deemed unfounded or whatever. But you got several. Somehow, some way, something must stick to me, because
I will say once again, it won't stick, and he will get reelected.
He's Teflon.
That's because we also have stupid people in the voting booths that think that
we got niggas that want to go to the voting booths. What are you talking about?
That too. Yeah, you have stupid people that goes to the voting booths and is manipulated into voting for Trump, and then you have niggas that don't want to go in the voting booth.
Well,
knows facts about.
You know what? My bad. I shouldn't just say. If I'm gonna say niggas, I will say just people who are ignorant. So it's not just niggas. There's a lot of white folks who ain't voting.
I call them niggas too, because they're ignorant.
There's a lot of white, but blind people won't say, they won't hear it. So there's a lot of people out there who are saying, especially on the Democratic side, who will say, my man or woman didn't get in, so I ain't voting.
That's the stupidest shit you can ever say. So you're gonna settle for something that is oppressive, but
in the day, it don't really affect me.
Right, but no, I don't give a fuck. It's gonna affect America, because this motherfucker's not a leader. He's not an effective leader. He's not a good leader.
In the day, it ain't gonna affect me.
Okay, when your ass is in these internment camps, so-called
they locking up white people.
Internment camps. When they won't affect you then. All right.
They locking up white people.
They're gonna start locking up. It's all gonna come down to when they start locking up nigga lovers.
Yeah, when they get to that point, you let me know.
It will.
I'll be good.
Okay. They gonna start locking up nigga lovers. So all you white people that like black meat, y'all, they're coming for your ass too.
Black meat, that white? Oh my god. You are insane. I don't know what's happening right now, dog.
Nigga, you like
Bruce Wayne who got a TBI, nigga. You just you off the rails
right now. But what I'm saying is, if you are like these white people that are, that want equality, that are in the interest of seeing justice for people of color and all that other stuff, they're coming for you too. You're next. They're already trying to put us down, trying to silence us, with policies and things like that. But the white people, they're coming for you too. The ones who are supportive of, equality for minorities and equality for all people. They're coming for you too. You're next. So be on the lookout.
There might be. I would just keep telling people to get out and vote. What is this?
Keep on. You can vote if you want to, but they gonna come get you. I'm telling you, they come get you. I'm still gonna vote against Trump though.
You said you don't vote against him?
I'm gonna vote against Trump.
Okay,
That's
I didn't
all.
hear what you said. I was like, okay. Nigga.
Oh no! I'm not voting for him. I'm voting against Trump. That's all. I don't care who's the opponent. I'm voting against him.
Like I said, they can have LeBron James cut out at this point in time, nigga, and I will vote.
Motherfucker, you know what? If and y'all can hate me for this shit. If Bill Cosby,
no, stop, abort, nigga, abort, nigga. No, nigga, no.
Already pretty much off the reservation already.
Stop, nigga. Stop, nigga. No, nigga. Hey, you know what? Hey, Joe. I don't know if you can cut this out. Cut it out, nigga. I don't know what's happening.
That's a motherfucking entertainment.
Hey, nigga, turn your mic off, dog. Just go to sleep, nigga. Take your little pedophile rape chair, nigga, and go to sleep, nigga. Just go to sleep, dog. This nigga, he gotta get outside.
Nigga, no. I'm just saying that.
No, don't just say it, nigga. No.
I do not support Bill Cosby because of what
you just said you did, though. But we're not.
They just said you would support him for president.
I don't know what's happening.
You did.
You the reason why Joe can't promote the podcast to his friends, nigga. You the reason why.
Precisely what's going on.
Damn.
You the reason why Joe said we need to have a very clean episode. And then niggas talking about, well,
what you saying is
if Bill Cosby were president, I vote for that nigga.
If you had a choice between Bill Cosby and Donald Trump, which one would you take? That's a hard choice, isn't it?
That'd be the one time I would advocate for niggas not to vote.
Off the chain now. People that used to think Rodger was the wild one thinks that he's the thing.
Yeah, we got Rodger be having a conversation.
You got Rodger looking like the voice of reason.
I'm sorry, dog. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that'd be the one time I would tell niggas not to go vote, because it's going to be all bad. That'd be the one time I'd be like, let white folks figure it out, because they're not going to know what to do.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what we do, because it's going to be bad either way we go.
Okay, I'm going to move on. We got a little time left. We under 2 hours. So it was in a heated debate. So a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, probably a week and a half ago, there was a man who decided to call the police because what did he call it? Was it the term whatever?
Backdoor Bob.
But not. That was the name I wrongly named him. So there was a man who was leaving his apartment building. A black man came in behind him.
Oh, he didn't try to tailgate him.
Tailgate. There we go. Tailgate him. He was trying to. He tailgated him to try to wait for his friend to come into the building. The white dude didn't know who the black man was or what he was there for. The black man, on his video, claims that he had said, "This is what I'm here for." Shenanigans ensued. I'm sure you guys have all saw the video of the person who I had wrongly named Backdoor Bob. His name is actually Front Door Frank. But
that sounds like a damn porn movie. But go ahead.
But I will.
Either or.
I pull this up. I'm gonna play some of this video. If it's not the correct video, I'll stop it.
Now you're getting this sound being recorded.
Great.
I remember.
Please call your friend on the call box and have them come down.
They don't have to do that. You could just walk away.
I'm gonna call the police.
Oh yes. Call the police. Remember that. I remember this exactly happening when I used to live in my own condo, and then people used to call the police all the time.
Sir, I'll hold the door here for you while
that
you
is
call your
okay.
friend.
Nobody's asking you to hold the door. You can do whatever you want. But I'm recording you right now, and you're going to be the next person Look at this.
You don't need to threaten me. You just need
I'm
to
not threatening you.
You are.
I'm not threatening you.
I'm going to be the next person. What?
You're just going to be the next person on TV. Just remember that. And you have your son with you. That's why I asked you if that's your son. It's better. I will delete this.
Yeah, there's a trespasser in my building.
Oh. Listen to your son.
Daddy, go. It's the better. I agree with him, Daddy.
Hi, Kathy.
Told you.
I love you, baby.
Go now.
It took you so long to get here.
Daddy, look what you've gotten us into. Let's go.
My friend is handicapped. Just give me 1 second while you're being in front of your kid. Okay? Remember, I'm recording you. I'm recording you.
Go ahead.
All right, I'm recording you.
Hey, don't use that language in front of children.
Oh, well, it was your fault for bringing him out here in the first place. I told you that was his son.
So basically, the raw video is what you heard initially. These two men going back and forth. The man who lived in the building and the other man who was coming to the building for his friend. And of course, the man who lived in the building did not know this. At the same point in time, you hear his child in the background talking about, let's go, daddy, doesn't feel right. And initially, of course, because of social media and what we've been introduced to, people who aren't black calling the police for anything, I think sometimes we get tunnel vision, for lack of a better term. And then, and like, I'm with Joe. In our chat group, I don't feel sorry for the man. He brought this whole story about my dad and this happened. But there are some important, to me, there's some questions that had to be brought up. As far as like, am I wrong if I feel that you aren't here for the appropriate reasons? Just because I'm a white man or a man or a woman who's not white? Because he's not the white woman who said these niggas is having a cookout. Let's call the police. He's the man who said...
Yeah, this ain't the same as...
correct.
I'm going to pull a gun out because you over here trying to have a picnic with your boo thing at the lake.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. This ain't the same thing as, black folks is having a barbecue. Let's go and call the police because they not using approved charcoal,
right?
Or whatever. Little girl trying to hustle some water on the sidewalk. Right. Let's call the police because she ain't got a license. This ain't that. This is my place of residence.
Right.
And we have security measures in place to ensure that trespassers don't come in here, and you trying to circumnavigate the security measures to come into my place of residence. And so for me, what I just felt like, so when he wrote his letter, he was very much, like you said, trying to evoke some response, talking about how his father had been killed in a similar situation.
Right.
Okay. I don't know that to be true. I just know that in his little statement that he made publicly, he basically came out and said that, his father had been killed by, I guess, a trespasser going into the building. I don't know.
Correct.
Okay. So that was something he said, okay, this is from my family history, or this is the history of behind my actions. Mm-hmm. I understand a little bit more about this Wesley Michael dude as he caught the door and some of the things that might have compelled him to act in the way he did. And so he kind of used that as and this dude's name is Christopher Cucker, I guess.
Yes. Hold on, I can find it for you.
C-U-K-O-R. Cooker. Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, you got it right.
Yeah, so anyway.
Kind of with Wesley Michael. You're right.
Yeah, so everybody comes into every, conversation you ever have informed by your past, Mm-hmm. And so I think he's saying that informed my past. I've, had a bad experience with that in my family. And I'm like, yeah, whatever to all that, Right. But when it comes to, I just feel like the black dude, Wesley Michael, was trying to be the next internet sensation.
And hold on, Joe. And a very important point that you brought up, we all come into a situation influenced by our past. So even, we don't know if what Christopher is saying is true or not. So if it is true, we hold him, we give him the benefit of the doubt and say it's true. We as people of color, black people all here on this podcast, come viewing all these other black people who have had the police called upon them. So we are biased. So I'm just adding that to that, and I think that also added to our chat discussion. I just want to put that into what you were saying. My bad. Go ahead, Pimp.
So I mean, like everybody else, I was thoroughly amused by it. You know, I giggled a little bit because you know it was the next big thing. It took a few minutes out of my day to amuse myself on social media, so it served its purpose. but I mean, from the beginning, I didn't really feel like it was. I feel like it was kind of like the crisis at the border. I feel like it was contrived. I felt like he created a situation and then blew it up. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you want to catch the door and go into this building. Yes, you are there on righteous meanings. You know, so you have you definitely have somebody that you're there to see. They may or may not know that you're coming. I don't know. But if I'm a tenant of the building, if I live in a gated community, and I don't want you to drive in behind me as I open up the gate for myself to get in, I don't see that being a problem. I paid for a gated community for a reason. I paid to live in a building with security measures for a reason. And now, you know, you might ask, hey, would he have stopped this person if it was a white person trying to do the same thing? We don't know.
Correct.
Now, in his statement, he said that he would. He said he does it all the time. I don't know. We only know about this incident. So he might very well be, you know, exactly who the dude says he is. But I'm saying his hands are not clean in this situation. He was doing something that was, I'm not going to say immoral, but he was cutting corners. And he was, you know, evading the protocols that are in place to ensure the safety of the people in the building. And so he definitely didn't have anything malicious. He felt like he was justified when his party showed up, and the old boy started looking sheepish when his party showed up. But that's further to let you know this person was not in the building. You were trying to get into the building, and the person you were trying to come see was not even in the building. They were still arriving as well. So I don't know. To me, it's contrived. I think old boy was just really just trying to get on social media.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one, Joe, because you know this is nothing like the incidences that we've experienced previous to this sort of incident. Buildings are secure for a reason, and there are security measures that are put in place. And it is the right of the tenant to act suspicious or act, you know, with some sort of suspicious conscience to, you know, because of the, you know, when someone is trying to circumvent the security of that building, they have that right to, you know, not only interrogate, you know, that person that is trying to gain access, you know, beyond the means of, you know, proper channels. And so I think in this instance that unfortunately the white person did the right thing in this sort of
Wait a minute, why are you saying
case.
Unfortunately?
Huh?
You say unfortunately?
The reason why I say unfortunately is because, you know, in other cases that we reviewed, the white person was wrong. But in this case, I think he was right.
You mean fortunately or?
Oh, both.
Okay.
But anyway, so.
That's why I'm like.
Because, you know, I'm anti. Well, I'm anti. I mean, what I'm saying is but what I'm saying is, you know, in this instance, the white person in this instance was correct in what he did. You know, he did call the police. He basically think, you know, this guy was trying to circumvent the security measures of this building. You know, because I've been to locked buildings and I've been to where I had to be buzzed in through an intercom system, for the person to come down and, to get me or whatever the case may be. But it seems like in this case that's what was trying to happen, that this African American gentleman tried to circumvent the security of this building and try to gain access, even though it may not have been for ill gains or whatever, but in the sense that he did, circumvent the security system, and the person just called the police on, as he's supposed to.
Right. Okay. I mean, anybody else?
I basically think they both overreacted to the situation.
Okay.
I think this is what I think. This is just where I put the scenario together. Like the brothers coming, like the white guy's leaving, the brother comes in, the white guy's he's like playing hall monitor, he's just like, oh, well, where you going, and blah blah, and then the brother's like, this white man can't tell me shit. Can't tell me what to do. So you got these are the two opposing attitudes you got going each other. So the white man is still trying to figure out, who this guy is and who does he know, and he needs to call somebody to get let in. The brother is still saying like, I ain't got to tell you shit, white man, and I ain't going to. So brother takes out his phone. The white man calls the cops, and it just a really simple situation could have just blew up into like a international incident, because they both probably had the wrong attitude going into it. That's the kind of way I see it. And if they would be both being more reasonable and not so quick to whip out their phones for their various purposes, they might have settled this. In fact, if they would have talked a couple more seconds, the lady would probably walked up and they'd been like, oh, there she is now. Yeah, sorry, man. Oh, it's okay. Boom, and be done. But nah, hell no.
Let me ask you this. Is he wrong for playing hall monitor in his place of residence?
No. I didn't say that. I said, I'm not saying he's wrong playing hall monitor.
They both overreacted. I just want to know how he overreacted.
Because when the phones came out, when he turned his phone on to videotape, and then when the white dude picked up the phone and called the cops, that's where they both reacted.
If the trespasser is coming into your house and he is unrelenting, what you supposed to do?
Call the cops.
There you go. There it is. There we go.
Yeah.
You damn
right. I'm not gonna call the cops, man.
But I think that goes back.
You're not gonna call. So if somebody trying to get up in your backyard, like let's say somebody, I'm just come up to the backyard. I'm just gonna be there. I ain't got nothing to do with you. I'm just gonna be in your.
That's my backyard. That's
his building. That's my building.
It's his building, but that is not. That's like you saying you walk into my neighborhood.
No, the building is different, man. If it's a gated community, if your neighborhood's a gated community.
Still, I mean, it had to be. And the way that scenario was playing, I probably wouldn't have called the cops. Right. Not the way that scenario was playing
out. The dude was not going to budge. You said, I don't have to answer nothing to you, white man. That's pretty much
forcing his way in either. If he would have pushed past him and just walked into the building, okay, but he didn't. He didn't push past him. He stayed there. He didn't, because he could have just done that. He could have just been like, "Boo, crack! I'm going in anyway." But he didn't.
He didn't say crack it, but he did basically say, "I ain't gonna tell you what I'm doing here."
Yeah.
So that's kind of. I mean, like at first when I saw it, I was kind of like, but I think once again when I was trying the point, and I like it. It listens to his comments. My point is, have we been so inundated as far as like, I'm probably saying it the wrong way, as far as like social media, and when we see white people calling the police on black folks, that we automatically find the white person to be wrong,
right?
Because like to me, and then when we started talking about it, because I never lived in the building when I had to be buzzed in or this and that. But then when Joe brought it up in the chat group, I started thinking about Lady Lavender. When I would go see her in New York, she did live in the building in an area that wasn't like the safest area and all the fucking. Is there a safe area in New York outside of all the rich areas? I don't know, but did she live in a safe area? No. So when he started talking about it in the chat group, I was like, damn, there were, a nigga could easily just come in the building. They were and they had a WhatsApp group where people were like saying, yeah, this person got robbed inside the building. This person got this inside the building. And it made me think like, yeah, damn, it's that easy for a person to get inside your building if you just let them in and don't ask questions. It is that easy.
He's basically getting neighborhood watch.
Basically, yeah.
And so, being, questioning people who come into the neighborhood or into the building.
Dude,
and,
I don't know, man.
But I do agree with you, James, where they both escalated it. But I think the black dude was more. I think the black dude was more wrong than the white dude.
I'd be totally with you. But
I think it's extreme too. I mean, I've lived in many buildings where there's buzzers and all that stuff to get in, and there's been times where people have come in behind me or been waiting at the door, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna let you in, but then I'm gonna be very vigilant about how I get about to the rest of the place I go. I'm not gonna call the police on them.
Right, but
that's not a thing that would happen.
Yeah, but in that case, you saying
he didn't immediately call the police either, though.
But he was leaving, and we don't know if there have been like previous crimes or whatever in that building also. Right. So that dude was leaving, and he was like, "Hold on, where you going?" And if I was that white dude, I'd been like, "Hold on, where the fuck was you going? She wasn't even here."
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm. Your ass could have waited outside. Because you knew she wasn't here all along. In.
Exactly.
Or did you not know she wasn't here all along? So were you even supposed to be here? The white dude could have easily said that.
I will say this.
But go ahead, my bad. Go ahead.
I will say this, that the brother could have squashed it first.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
By just buzzing up or something else.
Because old boy was like, hey, I'll stand here, you go ahead and buzz and we'll be done with this. He was like, no, I ain't gonna tell you no.
So it started. I'm gonna say it started with the black man. It started with him. If he would have acted, a little more reasonable from jump, then that probably would have prevented the situation. But then I do think that the white man did overreact when he called the cops. I'm just saying.
But this dude is not acting reasonable. At your own admission, he's not acting reasonable.
Dude, being unreasonable does not always mean you need to call the cops, man. A lot of people are reasonable.
But I also think that we have unfortunately been conditioned. Now, it's not even conditioned. We have seen time and time again that calling the cops for a lot of times equals a death sentence or not a good outcome for black people. So that makes us look negatively upon people who call the cops when black people are not acting accordingly.
Right.
But I'm saying that's not a good thing, though. That's not a good thing. It doesn't mean that you get to say I get to be in the space that I don't have a right to. So at one point in time, I'm agreeing with you.
It was a little too much.
But I'm also agreeing.
They're taken care of without calling the police.
But true. I agree with Joe, though. I agree with Joe, though, where I'm saying he's not acting accordingly, though. It's like you don't have a right to be here. You've already said you don't live in this building. You won't call the person who you're saying you're here to see. So are you really here to see that person? And now on top of that, the person that you said you're coming to see isn't even here. Right. So was I wrong?
I mean,
and don't get me wrong. Calling the police, because it's a different topic. Like we were here for July 4th. Actually, July 5th and 6th and 7th, when motherfuckers is popping firecrackers at all fucking hours of the night, keeping my kids up. I could have called the police, and I would have been very right to call the police and say, these niggas keep my kids up. I don't know if it's guns or fireworks, but I didn't. That don't make me more right than the white man who would have said, these niggas still popping fireworks 3 days later. Just because I wouldn't do it don't mean somebody who would do it is wrong.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't wait till if the bar is he got to commit the crime before we call the police. Okay, hey, if he shoot me, then I'm calling.
Right.
That's extreme.
What nigga shit? I mean, the whole shit is extreme.
That's
exactly.
The motherfucker was acting extreme. So he got to push his way into the building. No, this dude has already caught the door of the building. He's already violated the, you know what I'm saying,
that's not against
the protocol.
The law.
It is against the law to be on private
property. It's not against the law to trespass?
He doesn't live there. He's already broken the law.
So now we're gonna enforce trespassing and loitering and all.
But to answer your question, though, your question was did he break the law? He did break the law. He's trespassing.
Let me ask you this real quick. Let me ask you this real quick.
Started to sound a little Fox News, bro.
No.
You started to sound Fox News by not adhering to the law, just making up your own law. That's Fox News.
Into this shit.
Nigga, hold on. If I just decided to go up and sit on your porch,
not the same thing.
It's the same thing.
It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. So that's like saying now, anytime somebody's driving,
if he did that at his apartment door, that's equivalent to what you're saying. His apartment door is equivalent to what you're saying right now.
Yes.
Can't be at the front of the building is not the same.
The apartment door which is secured.
It's a secure door.
It's a secure door.
It's not his door.
Which is much more than your unsecured porch.
He pays rent. He is
well, it is part of his door because
you're
he
right.
pays rent there.
You're both right. It's not the same thing. My porch isn't secured. That apartment door was secured. You're both right. You're correct.
Right. Even more so. I'm saying if somebody goes sit on your porch and they not doing nothing but sitting on your porch, that's trespassing. You not gonna call the police for trespassers?
Yep. I would.
Especially if I would ask them first to get off my porch. They say,
"Yep,
I'm here to meet I'm here to meet somebody." Who, nigga?
Mm-hmm.
Because me and this woman and my children, only people live here. Who you here to meet?
Right.
I ain't gotta tell you shit, white man.
Oh, I'm black, actually. If you call me a white man, I'll be like, well, you crazy. I'm calling. Not only am I calling the police, I'm telling the niggas psychiatrist.
You know he crazy.
Right there, Missouri's a stand. Look, Missouri's a stand your ground state. Shit, shoot his ass off my porch.
Only for white men. We know that. Come on now.
I think he was fully within his rights to call. He asked the man to state his purpose. He asked the man to follow the protocol and call. He said he even hold the door while you call.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I felt like he tried to be somewhat amenable to the dude. And old boy had an agenda. And I think what his agenda was is I want to get on social media. I want to go viral. I want to go on CNN and meet Don Lemon.
This is personal. I mean, this is perfect.
I don't know if it was that
in depth,
but I definitely think that he was determined to punish the white dude for questioning him.
Why? Yeah,
I agree with that for sure.
Yeah, y'all make me feel bad because I be questioning motherfuckers in the hallways all the time. They be looking lost. They ain't got no badges. Like, what the fuck y'all doing back here?
And so my thing about that is this: that when it's authentic, that shit is worthy of rage because it really can be a death sentence.
Oh, now if you overall, I think it was the whole. As I said, I think the whole thing is bullshit on both sides of it.
Yeah,
I don't think there's anything redeeming or informative or expository or whatever the fuck you want to call it about what they have for here. Not like now remember the brother, I think he was outside of St. Louis that was coming home to his condo and the white lady wouldn't let him in when he actually lived there.
Right.
That is worthy.
That's worthy.
But I think both are worthy of showing that how I think to what we said, we've already spoke about it to great length. It is worthy as far as like showing how a simple thing can go very wrong. Where
in that respect, I agree with that. Yeah.
My thing is,
go ahead, Joe. My bad.
But I don't think anybody's taking it like that.
No, because we're reasonable Negroes. I mean, of course.
Yeah, because we're the only ones.
The public at large is thinking it's just another. We see my first instinct was calling from the door Frank. I jumped right on the bandwagon of naming these people.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I giggled, but like I said, even when I was giggling, I saw something wrong with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, when I rewatched the whole thing again, I definitely saw your points. I'm like, okay, yeah, I say, all right, I can see, yeah, this is not all that it's cracked up to be. This.
Yeah,
so what I'm saying is this: if we are truly out here, like if we trying to state that Black Lives Matter, if we trying to teach and gain understanding and have everybody, hey, this man doesn't understand that this could be a death sentence for me. If we're trying to open those conversations, this is not the way to open that conversation, because if you're gonna do it, you need to be all the way right. You can't be halfway right.
Right.
You can't have 1 foot right, 1 foot wrong. You got to be all the way right.
Correct.
And so in these other situations that you were talking about, when I'm walking into my house and I live in this apartment and you try to keep me out of my apartment, I'm all the way right. When when I'm barbecuing in a public park and you have a problem with me because I use charcoal or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I'm all the way right. You know what I'm saying? So these are completely different from a situation where I'm holding the door to an apartment building where I don't have, permission to be, and I refuse to go through the protocol of calling up to the buzzer. And even though old boy looked sheepish when she showed up, he was really proven right because she wasn't even in the building.
Exactly.
And I don't know if anybody else is having that conversation other than us.
I don't think so.
And so what I'm saying is that we as Black people need to be a little bit more careful. If our objective is to open up conversation with the larger community, you know what I'm saying, and have white people understand the plight, we need to present examples that we are 100% right in. Right. Because when we leave these shades of gray, it leaves room for question.
It goes back to the boy who cried wolf thing.
Right?
Yeah, but I would also say that I hate that we have to be 100%, 110% correct, even to get people to listen and watch.
But see, the thing is, we put it out there. We put things out there that that we have to be, in situations like this, we have to be 100% right, because there are instances where, such as this, that we're like the boy that cried wolf. We are always sounding out the alarm when there's really no alarm. There's really things that that have been put in place, that has been done right, that has been followed by law.
Right, but I will push back
those bounds. I
will push back on that though. Like I've already said that I think that the Black dude has pushed the issue, but I can also see where the Black dude says that if you're gonna call the police, I feel you want me to die, so I'm gonna be like, you want me to have harm done to me.
Right.
And I get that once again is conditioning of what we see in social media, yada yada yada. We cover this on this podcast, but back to the point of what I'm saying is, I hate that we in this society where we're supposed to be, forget your race. It's not about race. It's all about we're the human race and all. There's no color. I don't see color. That we have to be 100% right to get people on our side. That annoys the fuck out of me. Because even here in this instance, we say both are wrong, but there are many people. Once you say both are wrong, they say the black person is wrong. That's it. And I hate that. That's the part that I hate. Because when Joe brought it up in our chat group, I was like, yeah, you're right. And then like I had to go because I was so caught up in the fact that this dude called the police that what I've been like seeing on social media, like damn, he wants some harm to come to this dude, and that might not have been his purpose. He might just wanted to protect his building, this property that he pays probably a grip to live in.
A grip for it, right?
Yeah, to live in, and the people in this community in this building who he's probably like in a WhatsApp group with, and they all chat and they fucking tell stories and all that bullshit. He considers to be part of his community for whatever purpose or reason. He wants to protect them. So he might have every good thing. And then when I went back and listened, when I went back and watched it, like James went back and watched it, and I'm like, wait a minute. The black dude was coming to see wasn't even here.
Right.
She wasn't even in the building. So it wouldn't even that black dude would have just been sitting there either in that lobby, or if he had got further, just would have been sitting outside that woman's door anyway.
Right.
So once again, we're back to the point of all this for nothing. But once again, we have to be 100% correct, 100, not even 100, 110% correct all the time for us to get any justice. And I don't want no justice off of this shit because once again, I believe with Joe where this ain't the example you need to use to get justice. No. This the example to use to be where we need to figure out a way to, as black people and the other side of it, white people, to dial it back and communicate as far as like, you know what, my friend's not here. He could have very easily said, my friend's not here. I'm here to see her or him because that dude didn't know what was going on at that point in time. Right. My friend's not here. You know what? To make you feel comfortable. Because once again, this isn't his property. I'm going to step outside and wait for them.
Yep, exactly. I agree.
There's still every apartment complex. It's not like being on your porch and having somebody sitting on your porch. Any apartment complex, even the little cheap ones that I've lived in, there's many other steps, several other steps you could take before calling the police. So again, like James said, both of them were out of line in what they did, and it could have been settled in other ways without reaching the police. Fortunately, the police didn't come through this time, because who knows what would have happened if it had gotten to that, if they actually showed up.
So I would ask,
there's other things.
I'm ignorant. Tell me what other steps he could have did. You lived in an apartment like that.
Superintendents that you can call there. There's sometimes building security that's walking around. If it's like this fancy place, there's likely somebody who's walking around. It doesn't seem like it's a door. They have a doorman because he had to actually hold the door, unless he was holding, and there's still a doorman there. But there's the superintendent. There's also building security, and also other people within the building that you could call and be like, hey, I'm down here with this person. He says he knows somebody. Can you come down and check on this? I mean, there's other things you can do besides calling the police.
So
if there's building security, he definitely should have called building security first.
Right.
But we don't. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know. Yeah. Every building that I've been in has had building security, even like cheapo apartment complexes. So I'm assuming if this is some fancy place, because it looked really nice just from looking at the video, that there's somebody, even if it's not building security, there's a superintendent who should be there, or a building apartment manager, somebody in the building that can come and deal with it.
But you are in agreement that he is right to call someone because this isn't right.
I wouldn't have called anybody, but that's
I said, but you agreed that you said you wouldn't, but also I get that we are, as black people, once again, my experiences and how authority figures come and act upon people. But would you are you shaming him for calling somebody because he doesn't feel this is right?
Yes.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if he'd called the building super, you'd shamed him for that?
No, that's different. That's not calling some authority.
I said call someone. I said call someone.
Well, that's still an authority.
He didn't say the police. He said somebody.
I said someone.
Yeah, that's still an authority.
Well, I'm still going with I wouldn't have called anybody. So in a way, yes, I would shame him for calling the superintendent of the building.
What if you didn't call?
But he was following protocol. He was following protocols.
I don't know.
What if you didn't call nobody? What if you didn't call anybody and that person told you, "Hey, I'm going up to the room to see such and such," and you maybe take objection to it, but then you ain't gonna call nobody. That person goes up there, kicks in the door.
Happens. Okay, so then I'd feel bad, but at the same time, I would be like, okay, well, I don't know what to do in this situation. So that's going back to you guys' neighborhood example. So anytime you see somebody driving around your neighborhood and they just keep circling, or not even circling, they just drive around and they are looking around trying to find something, are you immediately calling somebody in your neighborhood watch or something?
There are people who do that.
I have called the police when I see the same car circling around my mama's house a couple times. I have. Back in the day. Because she was living off 40-something. She was living off 40-something in Woodland, and I see the same niggas circling around the neighborhood because that's back when because she was like in that neighborhood when they was like building up the houses. Right. There's all these nice houses, new houses, and I keep seeing the same car circling around the neighborhood. I ain't got no problem calling.
So if you're at the start of a neighborhood, at the start of that street, and somebody's just waiting right there and not doing anything, they tell you I'm waiting for somebody? We're changing the narrative.
You said circling
right here,
opposed to waiting.
I never said circling. I said you see somebody driving in the neighborhood. I didn't say circle. I even stopped and said not circling, but just driving around, looking around. Now I'm going with not even driving around the neighborhood because he wasn't walking inside the complex.
To me, driving around, looking around means circling. You can't be driving around, looking around unless you're moving around, circling around. So they just backing
look
down the street
without going around over and over again in a circle.
Okay,
Lavender. Are they backing up and down the street? Because that's real. conspicuous to me.
If I'm driving,
Okay, so if
we've been going
Hold
at
on,
this for a long time, and we've been on the show for a minute, so we're all gonna keep disagreeing on this.
No, I'm saying I'm trying to figure out. You're saying if they're driving up and down my street. How do you drive up and down my street without circling around?
Oh shit!
I drive down the street. If I'm driving down Manchester and I'm looking left to right,
Here we
to
go.
find something where I'm just looking left to right.
So
that
if
doesn't
you drive down one time,
Hey, Joe,
no, I'm
this
not
ain't-
calling
Yeah.
the police. But if you're driving up and down my street, which means you're going
I
back
like
and
this.
forth down my street numerous times, I am calling the police on your ass. Yes.
clarified from the beginning that I didn't say
I
up
love
and down
this.
Speedway. I'm saying
said-
if somebody's driving around, and then I changed and said, okay, if somebody's just at the front of a street, which is what this guy did, waiting at the door.
Yeah, but waiting at the
He wasn't waiting at the door.
No, I'm saying if I so like hold on, we have a perfect example. There were two cars who stopped in front of our house, in front of this house, when me and you were here before Anthony came. What do? We both looked out the window. We didn't call the police, but we were very like, wait a minute, why are these people who have on a public street stopped in front of this house and blocked the driveway? And I said, we didn't call the police, but our antennas were up. And I said, well, if they don't move their cars, I'm gonna go out there and talk to them. Now,
Yeah,
best believe if I had went outside and talked to them and they didn't move their cars, I may have escalated it.
My neighbor had some work going on last couple weeks ago, and they had a van that had pulled, a white van that had pulled up to the back door, and they were kind of sitting outside, and my neighbors weren't home. So I called the neighbor. Now I didn't call the police, but I called my neighbors and said, "Hey, you got some people out back. Is this cool? What's going on?" He said, "Yeah, no, we got some work going on." So they showing up, and he said. So he went back and checked to just make sure that everything was good too. So he called back to those people to make sure that the workers had arrived, and these weren't some random people. But had he told me that no, I don't know anything about that, yeah, I'd either had him call the police or I proceeded to do it myself.
Which is the step like calling the superintendent or calling the building security.
We don't know that was.
But I think that dude did the same thing when he said, "Why are you here? What are you doing? You know what? Oh, you're here to see such and such? I'll wait here while you call them." That's the same thing to me.
Yep.
And if they're not following that, then you call the superintendent. Like, okay, you're not doing what I'm asking, so I'm going to call the higher authorities because I'm just a person who lives
Hold on, but once again, we're assuming they have a superintendent. We're assuming they have security on site.
Every building, every apartment building.
Right,
has a superintendent.
but like we've been trying to like the superintendent may not be very receptive, or he might be like a person that like I call a superintendent to fucking come and fix my door, and they don't show up for like another 8 hours.
That's just like my landlord. He's not readily available. He's shit. He's in Florida most of the time. So I mean, if there's something that goes wrong,
that's a little different. The superintendent is usually on site. I get what Lady Lavender is saying. The superintendent is usually on site or in the area. But if I once again, I think they're both wrong. But I don't shame this dude for calling the police for somebody that's not appropriately saying why they're here, and they say, "Oh, I'm here to see a friend." Well, go ahead and call him why I'm here. I think he's within his right, but I also think we get into a very dangerous thing where it's like I think Joe brought up in our chat group where no one calls the police out of shame.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Is that where we want to be? Is that what was the dumbest thing I put in the chat group? Like,
we don't call the police because the cat burger was in our house stealing our shit, and then he's videotaping us or some shit like that. Like, oh, you calling the police on me?
You start videotaping the cat burger. Start videotaping. Oh, you gonna call the police? So it could be a death sentence for me, right?
It's an extreme example, but yeah, I get
it's extreme as shit. It was also funny. So.
I mean, you want to talk extreme. The Fort Hood shooting happened because the FBI never called the MPEs to tell there's an extremist within the military ranks. That's very extreme. They knew about this nigga all along. Extreme.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But once again, everyone's. I mean, I think it's not like I don't think anyone's wrong. I think the way we handle things are very differently. Everyone has agreed that something's not right. They just would have handled it differently, or went about it. They just would have noted it. So there we are. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if someone said on my porch analogy is right. I don't know if the call the police versus a superintendent versus physical security is right. I don't know. I just know that everyone says there was something that was like maybe not up to par. This person's coming in to my physical building and they didn't really state the reason or show a reason to be there. I would have handled it differently.
It's like Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks wasn't the first one to sit on a Montgomery bus and refuse to get up. But the example. Well, no, I'm getting to a point. The reason she was chosen is because her predecessor, the one who did it before, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, was like a pregnant teen.
Yeah, it did a drunk history episode on her. That's pretty.
Yeah, I can't remember her name off my top of my head, but I'd recognize it if I heard it.
She just wasn't a good.
Claudette, yeah, that's right.
She wasn't a good spokesperson for the movement.
Right. So what they were saying is, if we're gonna have a front person, that there's something questionable, and I don't want to talk about people and they lives and decisions they've made. You know what I'm saying?
During that point,
I'm not passing judgment.
Yeah.
But they said that the fact that she was a pregnant teen means she's made choices, and a lot of people would question those choices. And so if she's made questionable choices before, maybe this would be another line in one of those questionable choices. They wanted somebody who was above reproach, so they had Rosa Parks, who was a model citizen. Mm-hmm. And so when she does this, it questions. It's not questioning her and her decision making. It's questioning the law.
Right.
And so what I'm saying is when we rush to the internet to do little internet protests about people catching the door and that type of thing, when you just be 100% right. Just we got to be clean cut if we're going to make the argument. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
So.
And I feel, yes, that's the way. I just hate that's the way. Does that make sense?
Right. But I think it's always the way, though.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you're talking about Gandhi, you know what I'm saying? Gandhi had to be very pious. Gandhi couldn't be out here drinking malt liquor.
But he was allowed to be racist, though. He just couldn't be pious. In the European sense.
Who ain't right?
I said racist, not rapist. Racist.
Oh shit! You trying to send me after him?
You gonna go back? This nigga about to cross over?
Nah, but I'm just saying he had to be a pious figure. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But I'm saying, but I think a pious figure.
We know that Martin Luther King eventually had his indiscretions, but they swept it under the rug.
Right, but I'm saying
to keep his clean cut.
But once again,
appearance.
Clean cut for the European gaze. That's what I'm saying. That's the part that I hate. It has to be clean cut, highly favored, able to be digested and swallowed for the European gaze. And that's and I get it, but I hate it. Because like you said with Gandhi, he was a racist. He was. He looked down.
Is that for Europeans or is that for humans? I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I mean, as far as how Europeans love him and passes his preachings and his teachings and how it's pushed in European history as far as the classes that are taught here in America. Yes, it is. And I get humans are racist amongst each other, but I mean, as far as America goes, yes.
If my kids get into a battle about who has the remote or who was touching who, if one of them gonna be talking about the other one, they better be 100% right, or they both getting a whooping.
I feel what you're saying, but I'm
not gonna pick a side.
But they all Joe's brown babies. Sorry.
What are you saying? I'm lost.
I'm lost in the fact that they all your brown children. And once again, when it comes to white Europeans, they don't have to be 100% correct. This white man ain't got to be 100% correct because we still questioning if he wrong or right. But this nigga got to be 100% correct on everything. And it's always been that way, Joe. Let's be okay.
Why the white men ain't gotta be 100% correct too?
Not in America, they don't.
If your objective is to reach me, you do.
For us here on this we're not just talking about this podcast, fam. I'm talking about outside this podcast. We have to be 100% correct. Even you said it.
We do, and I feel like I just feel like that's how it should be.
Yeah, that's how it.
That's how trying to tell me that there's an injustice.
That's how it should. That's how it should be out in the outside world, but that ain't how it is, and you know that, man. How it should be and how it is two different things.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. How it should be, yes. How it is, no. Because once again, how it is the reason why we looked at this video with some tainted eyes at first. Because that ain't how it is. How it should be, that white man should be able to call the police on this black man who came into his door and then didn't want to push the button correctly, and we all go, yeah, you call the police. But for a lot of people looking at, there's a lot of trauma in that, because once police are called on black people, we don't know the outcome. That's the same reason when these niggas popping firecrackers at fucking 2 o'clock in the morning in my neighborhood, I ain't called the police because I don't know what the outcome gonna be for them. And they wrong. But I don't know what the outcome going to be for them, because how it is versus how it should be. I should be able to call police. They pull up and say, hey, guys, it's all right. We had a good time. Happy 4th. Let's put some water on this shit. And they go about their business, but we don't know how it's going to end up. That's how it is, and you know that.
Yeah, we definitely know that.
That's all I'm saying. How it should be, how I want it to be, how you want it to be, how Lady Lavender, how 10 meters, how James wanted to be, ain't how it is. That's all I'm saying. I shouldn't be backing my fucking Ford Explorer into my mom's driveway back in the day, and all of a sudden I got 10 police with guns drawn on me just because I'm backing a white Explorer into a driveway, especially because a fucking SUV got hijacked fucking 20 minutes away.
Right.
How it is versus how it should be. That's all I'm saying. And that ain't hyperbole. That's actually what happened to me. We talked about it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know where we're going with that.
All I'm saying is, like, the concept of, I get our children in our homes. We all, like, okay, I got to question you. There's some leeway there, but I'm saying, but within our homes, it's still our brown children, our brown babies, whatever. They gonna get treated 100% across the board. Your brown babies versus a white baby ain't getting treated the same out in the real world versus how it should be versus how it is. That's all I'm saying. It's a poor. I think it's not a good analogy.
I just feel like we should be slow to anger.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
I know
I agree with that.
Some things that are worthy of rage.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But I think they need to be reserved for when we have the information, and they have proven to us beyond a shadow of a doubt. Maybe not a shadow of a doubt, but they have proven to us that they don't deserve a benefit of a doubt.
Right.
And so what I'm saying to you, this is a situation where there are mitigating circumstances, obviously, but we were not, because of the condition of this day and time, we were not slow to go to anger. We immediately jumped in, retweeted, reposted. Black Twitter did its thing, had jokes. We talked about how the kid had more sense than the adult. And I'm just saying that is not the way to state the case. You know, we have been the disenfranchised, and it should not be that way, but that is, like you said, that is what it is. As the disenfranchised, in order to state your case before the judge, you're going to have to be in the right.
Right. I agree.
You go to Judge
Judy. Once again, though,
you come here with a claim, but you was halfway wrong, so you're going to dismiss that shit.
Exactly.
But then again,
so I know it shouldn't be that way, but I mean, I think that's the way of the world. And I do understand that white folks have definitely, historically, gotten a pass. But I don't think it's in every circumstance.
No, I'm saying it's not in every circumstance. And then when you put it that way, I agree that we should be slow to anger. And I think once again but I also stated that we have gotten caught up in this social media, which kind of I don't know.
As we said, we all bring our past with us.
Yeah, I don't know if it's numb or whatever it is, but every time we see a white person calling the police, there we go, hypersensitive, perfect. Every time we see a white person calling the police, I think automatically we get tunnel vision. I agree, but I also say I will continue to say I hate that we have to be 100% correct when everybody else gets to be 70 or 80% correct. I hate that part, and I get that's the way the game is. That's Damon, my brother Damon, if he was on here, he would say, "I hear you, pimp," but that's the way the game is. We already knew the rules when we started playing.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about right is right, it should draw rage and ire for a man to have a rally at John Brown Park.
Yeah,
and that man should automatically get fired from his job. You know
Correct.
He should be ostracized from the community, really.
Right.
That's just not the world we live in. You know what I'm saying?
No.
So, it is what it is.
Yeah.
We do our small part here at the Negro Rock.
Let me find a funny article. I don't know.
Good luck.
Actually, hold on. I think I can find something. So have you... let's close it out. We like to close it out on some comedy. Have you ever been so fucked up that you tried to use your daughters, sons, cousins, little nephews, plastic debit cards to make purchases?
No shit.
So you can see my screen here. If you look at the bottom of the screen,
I never have, but
can y'all see this?
What the fuck?
You can hear it though. I'm gonna play it.
Do you see this? Those are not real credit cards. Those are not real credit cards. So for you to try to even swipe that, it's not even going to work because it's not a credit card. That's a game that you actually have. That's a game. This is like some shit that came out of like Barney or fucking Blue's Clues or some shit. That's not a real card.
What are you talking about?
Those are not real credit cards. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Look at the phone you got.
This is my phone. What are you talking about my phone?
But you don't even use... Can you talk on that phone?
Yes, I can.
All right, well, if you can call me on that phone, I'll buy this shit for you. No, call me on that phone. I want you to call me on that phone. Nah, call me on that phone.
This ain't you?
They ain't say nothing about you.
Hell no.
She said, this ain't you. Let's keep it going.
Did you dial any numbers on that? Did you dial any numbers? Dial a number on that. Girl, you got that shit from goddamn... Swipe that card. I want to see you swipe that card. You ain't...
This whole time, her stomach been sitting on the counter.
Okay. What kind of card is that again, man?
Blue's Clues.
Those Blue's Clues cards?
Debit.
Who are you talking to on that phone?
Is it 7?
Who are you talking to on that phone?
This bitch y'all man.
Tell me who you talking to on that phone. So if it's Bert and Ernie tripping. Who you talking to?
I was waiting on that.
Is that phone even charged up?
There we go. There we go. There we go.
Oh, shit.
And also an introduction to some of the things I get at work that Lady Lavender sends to me.
So first of all, what the fuck? What kind of phone was that? Was it one of the play?
She had a plastic.
It looked like
Fisher Price. It looked my first phone. I mean.
It looked like one of the children's cell phones that she was trying to call him on, and then she tried to play with a Blue's Clues.
She said she kept pushing. She kept pushing it because Grant has the same, like, his phone is blue, but it's a similar phone. So she kept. That's why she said it keeps saying 7 because you push the number 7 or 3 or 4. It says the corresponding number.
Nigga. Oh shit. Was she on meth, man?
I don't know. I have no idea what she was on, but
oh
she was
my god. Oh shit.
All right.
Oh, thank
Somebody's laughing. That's all that matters.
Oh shit! Thanks, man. That was good.
I'll forward that to you. Really enjoy it. I showed some of the soldiers a drill today, and it took them a minute to realize that her phone was fake. So I was like, "God, not even. What's wrong with y'all?"
It didn't take me that long. Goddamn.
She had 2 like yeah. She took niggas having plastic literally. She had an orange and a hot pink credit card. That's pretty good though. Anyway, all right, we at the end. I think we covered all we came to cover.
Okay.
People got their points across, topics across. We have informed the Negroes and maybe a couple of white people of America about the good things and the bad things, and hopefully we can get better. So, does everyone feel they have a chance to speak their point?
I did. I think I've come across, like I said, as much as I can. What the information was presented to me.
All right. Everybody else good?
Right now I'm fucked up. So.
Wow, that does happen. That does happen.
I'm a little bit more tipsy than more normal.
Uh-oh. Well, I do appreciate everybody getting on a little early. Like I said, man, I apologize to our listeners out there. Took a break. Had the babies. Not the babies, but my 14-year-old twins. They've been grinding, playing football, so they didn't really have time for pops, but they had a little time for pops this past weekend. So we just sat back and Lady Lavender got to watch them fuck me up in Halo. So yeah, that was pretty good. So it was time well spent. So I appreciate you guys allowing me that little time off. And then normally get on Fridays. Had a 3-day drill this weekend, which means getting up at 4 a.m, 3 days in a row. So I knew tonight I would get back a little early. So I appreciate everybody getting on Saturday and making time, getting on a little earlier. I do appreciate that.
Good.
Yep. So we good. We didn't talk. Had a good talk. Appreciate everybody getting on. And yeah, good episode, I believe. I-70 Connect. And there I'm going to introduce it. There will be some changes coming down the pipeline as we continue to talk on the back channels and formalize a way to get some name changes here and there. But you stay tuned. I decided to make this announcement on the back end because we haven't fully developed what we're going to do. We have kind of fully developed what we're going to do. But
do we have a name, or are we going with that name?
I think what's going to happen is we've been going under the Nicaraguan podcast, but slowly but sure, not slowly, but surely the Triple B's podcast, aka Brothers Breaking Bread. Lady Lavender is not a brother, but she has stated that she is okay to come on, and I fully know that she's not a brother, but she has stated that she would come on.
I tell you, it'd be brothers and brides.
No, brothers and brides. I mean, that's pretty good though. I like it. But she has stated that she is okay to come on and let us have her presence on the Triple Beach podcast to kind of sometimes water down our testosterone.
Right.
It could be babes that day.
I mean, it could be. Yeah.
I don't know if that's
brothers
better.
And babes.
I don't know if that's better.
Brothers breaking babes.
Brothers and babes breaking bread.
Okay, babes and brothers breaking bread.
That'd be quadruple B when she up.
Quadruple B. So yeah, we have to put it out there. We'll add it on there. But yeah, Triple B's Brothers Breaking Bread podcast. Some changes coming down the line. It's still going to be some of the same familiar faces. And then you heard last podcast, my brother coming on. He'll be in and out. Lady Lavender will always be here to help us out when we get astray as far as being the calm voice of reason. But yeah, it's a change that we've been talking about, and a change that's going to be coming. Like I said, same content, same comedy, and then also the same just keeping it real and just talking about what's going on in the world. So change is coming, and we will keep you up to date. As always, information will be in the show notes, but like I said, yeah, change is coming, and we will keep you up to date. And you probably can look at having a closeout as far as Nigga Rockin' Podcast, and us having going back to some of the old episodes and talking about that. Because that's about us all together. And
I'm gonna be able to get Frank on for that.
I'm gonna pull him on, and I'm gonna say, hey, you can get your ass on here and talk about it. Yeah. So there we have it. As always, KC Stork, I-70 Connect, Nigga Rockin' Podcast. Thank you all, Brothers of Doom, Joe, Jeff, James, Lady Lavender. Once again, thank you for your presence. 10 meters, appreciate it. Listeners out there, thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. And as always, enjoy Joe, Jeff, and his daughters hitting them hot tracks. We out.
Hey.
Dead man, come alive at the count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come alive.
No, like undead man, you go first.
Man, you're not doing it right. You gotta do it right. You ready? Dead man, come alive at the count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come alive.
Yeah, girl, that girl, come alive. Come alive at the count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come alive.
Come alive.